Welcome to this week's version of the Sixers Stock Report. Stock up, stock down on the Philadelphia 76ers. Occasionally, we'll go around the league as well, and we'll do so. It's all brought to you by our good friends from Bagels & Co. Bagels & Co., our great sponsor of Stock Up, Stock Down, as always, and we appreciate them. They appreciate you. Brooklyn-style bagels made right here in Philadelphia, and you can go check them out at www.thebagelsandco.com/store locator to find the nearest store closest to you, so you can go get a bagel. All right, normally we say bagel of the week, bagel player of the game, all that. Stock up, stock down. No Kyle this week, so he's probably enjoying some bagels on vacation from Bagels & Co.
Stock up for Kyle.
Stock up for Kyle.
Sitting on a beach instead of dealing with me. It's always a stock
It's not a bad thing at all.
Not a bad thing at all.
And stock up, he got away from the basketball team to get a little refresher.
That's a
before
pro
the
move
postseason.
right there. Scheduling a vacation in the middle of March.
Yeah, he
pro
knew,
move.
knew exactly what he was doing. All right, that being said, let's begin our
He had
stock
a vacation 2 days
stock
into the
down.
launch of our company, and now in the middle of a playoff run. That guy is living it up.
Pro move, pro move, pro moves for this guy that I'm going to throw at you for the start of stock up, stock down. Derek, campaign.
Yeah.
Stock up, stock down.
You know, I think I would go stock up. I think it's
I would
not
agree.
necessarily an obvious one. He's been a little bit up and down. It's stock up almost entirely on the backs of that performance against the Clippers.
Yep.
But when you help steal a win on the road in the middle of a tough road trip, and on the front end of a back-to-back where you really had to steal a win in order to salvage that, giving you 23 points on 15 shots and going 5 for 10 from three-point range, that will give you a stock up on the week almost by itself. And like I said, he's more or less been up and down. His other two games, he shot 3 for 9 against the Lakers. He shot 3 for 10 against the Kings. Certainly hasn't been consistent. The three ball has been falling. That helps. But overall, it's been an up and down performance from campaign. But when you have one game, and this is a team right now that's just desperate for any kind of shot creation, when you have one game where you give them that and you help them steal a win over a theoretically superior opponent, although one who's not playing great basketball right now, that is huge at this stage of the season. So stock up for campaign.
And look, he's played 21 games for this team. Maybe, I don't know if it really seems that way for a lot of people since the trade deadline. Has played 21, started 4. He's averaging 10 points, 10.5 points, averaging right around 3 assists in those 21 games. He's shooting 37% from 3, league average right there for him. So for a lot of people who haven't really seen him and they see that different type of windup for him where he shoots it basically from his side, but he shoots it at 37%. And then again, it's someone with some shot creation, someone who can run the team, who can score a little bit there as well. And then you add in the factor of he doesn't really know what his role is from any given night. Now, yes, Kyle Lowry's not in there. You're going to play more minutes. Or Tobias Harris is out. Maybe we'll go a little bit small here, have you in a 3-guard lineup with Buddy Hield, Tyrese Maxey, campaign out there. So it's up and down. While he will play, how much will he play is the question. And then you do give a performance like that against the Los Angeles Clippers, and you have to go out there in different roles maybe on any given night throughout the week. He's played pretty well, I think, all things considered, with the circumstance. And think about this, too. When the Kyle Lowry move was made, we already catapulted Kyle in there, thinking maybe DeAnthony Melton's come back in. Where's campaign going to fit in here in Philadelphia? At least in Milwaukee, he was the backup point guard. He knew he was going to play. Maybe, again, how many minutes? Unclear. But from what it was when he first got here to what he is right now and seeing him, I think he has changed the perception from a lot of people of being upset that Patrick Beverley left to now where campaign is and feeling good, especially after that Clippers win.
And you brought it up. That really shows how uncertain his minutes are, because the justification they used for trading Patrick Beverley away is that after signing Kyle Lowry, there weren't going to be enough minutes to keep Pat Bev happy. So you have basically just slotted campaign into that role, into a role that you have admitted might not be enough minutes to keep someone happy. And he has found a way to remain a little bit consistent in that role. It is helped a little bit by the fact that DeAnthony Melton has not been available. So those minutes that maybe you were bookmarking for DeAnthony have been available. But it's been an uncertain role. It's been changing night to night, matchup to matchup. And like I said, finding a way to help you steal a game against the Clippers, stock up.
Yeah, so stock up for campaign for this week. And that's a good number, a good player to start off with as we move now to one of the other guys that has played a little bit up and down. He's played some some inconsistencies there, but there may be some positive signs there. Maybe not. Let's go to Buddy Hield. Stock up, stock down for Buddy Hield. We already did a show.
We did do
surrounding
a show.
him a little bit and starting things off. But in this case, stock up, stock down for Buddy Hield.
We did just do a show. So this will be Tuesday's show. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out.
Yes.
We spent probably a good 15, 20 minutes talking about Buddy Hield. So we're probably going to keep this section a little bit short, but I am unfortunately going to have to go with a stock down on this one. Mentioned it during the show. Over his last 8 games, averaging at 9 points per game in a little over 21 minutes, shooting 29% from 3-point range. When you bring Buddy Hield in, you're expecting more than that. You're expecting more shooting. You're expecting more floor spacing. You're expecting, honestly, a little bit more playmaking. He has not been consistent. He has not really been good. I think his playing time has suffered. Maybe that's impacting him a little bit. We went through a whole list of reasons why he might be struggling, of reasons why, even if he is struggling now, you might be able to expect more from him when Joel Embiid returns. I don't want to relitigate all of that. Like I said, there is a full 20-minute discussion on that on Tuesday's show.
Yeah.
But I will have to go with the stock down right now.
I agree with you. And again, go to Tuesday's show to check that one out. Had to throw that in because when we talk about stock up, stock down, he has been one of those players that has really been struggling, and it just needs to be discussed as much as we did on the show. And certainly here for some people who may not have been able to catch the show, but wanted to catch the stock up, stock down, Sixers stock report.
And if you're just finding our random videos and don't know that we do a live show 5 days a week, that is a good plug for it. Go check it out. And that discussion happened during that live show.
2 more people involved with the Philadelphia 76ers that I would like to throw at you, Derek.
People. This is a curveball. To be clear, Devon does not run this by myself or Kyle when he's here. So this is we'll see where this goes.
And when I say people, that means it could be a player, could be an executive, could be a coach. I'm going coach.
Could be Aramark.
Could be Aramark. Let's go with Nick Nurse. Stock up, stock down
on
for Nick Nurse.
For the record.
Stock down on Aramark. Feed us when we're in the building.
I'll go stock down.
That's why I had to throw the curveball at him, folks.
It's a tepid stock down. Like, I don't think this isn't a condemnation. I think what they are trying to work with right now is borderline impossible.
Sure.
You know, we talked about this with Kelly, where Kelly is enlightening as a player because he represents everything you don't have, but in a package that you don't necessarily trust. So you need someone with his athleticism, with his ability to get to his spots off the bounce, with his confidence, who also is maybe a little more consistently engaged as a locked-in defender, who maybe is a little bit more creative and willing as a passer. Although Kelly's passing is a huge stock up over the last couple of days. I want to give him a lot of credit for that. But my point is, you need somebody with wing size and wing athleticism and wing attacking mentality who's a more complete player. We mentioned Paul George on a show previously. That's obviously a high-end example of this. But this is a team so lacking in off-the-dribble creation and being able to get to the free throw line and having versatile defenders that it's real tough, I think, for Nick Nurse to find. Like, they've got a lot of capable NBA players or players who should be in a rotation, but very few who fit together around each other to create a package that you fully believe in. Like, everyone has such serious limitations. Everyone has such defensive limitations. A lot of them have shooting concerns or playmaking or decision-making concerns. It's tough for me to really go too far in on Nick Nurse right now. Do I think he's finding all the right buttons to push? No, not necessarily. But I'm not sure there are that many good answers. There's just other theories he could be testing out.
And look, when we talk about, again, Nick Nurse, we're looking at substitutions, how long you leave someone in the game, rotations in general. Should player X be on the floor a little bit more? We always use the example of Ricky Council. So you go Ricky Council. Is he staying on the floor a little bit too long? Or should he be on the floor where maybe you take Mo Bamba off the floor? So a lot of that goes in there. And I would say I agree. I'm in agreement with you. I've been more positive this season on Nick Nurse because some of this stuff is out of his hands. It's out of his control because his roster is what the roster is. And he's down 2 starters for a good portion of his regular season in his first year. What else are you going to do when you still do, have an all-star in Tyrese Maxey? He does his part. But then you have disappearing acts from time to time where we have gotten on Tobias Harris. So some of that stuff is not him, but that's where the coaching part comes in again. Why are you leaving Tobias Harris in the game too long? Well, one of the reasons is because he's one of your better players. So you do it. But then there's the other side of it but you still got to get him off the floor because he is flat out hurting you in this moment. Get him off the floor and give someone else an opportunity. But for right now, I agree with you. Year one, more so stock up for Nick Nurse that they're even in this, the way that they're in it. But as we talk about this certain week here that we're discussing, I'd say stock down. He did help guide them to that Clippers win.
Yep.
But I would give a stock down also.
No, and like you mentioned, this isn't
it's not way down.
This isn't a year-long evaluation. This is recent over the last week or so.
Yep.
Week or two, because we do the NBA league-wide one. So it's not a condemnation of the full season. It's not even really a combination of the last 2 weeks. I think has been dealt a pretty much impossible hand. And if you go back, a lot of times we can get caught up in the day-to-day decisions or the individual rotation or game. A lot of times I like to go back and all right, well, what were my expectations? And when they started this stretch that runs through the Miami game here on April 4th, there was like a 23-game stretch.
23 games.
And we said they need to win 8 to 10 of those 23 games. They are currently sitting there at 10 wins. Now, that's not, that was what I was trying to say. You need 10 wins to give yourself a chance to keep a 6 seed. Right now, they are out of the 6 seed by a game and a half, in part because the Pacers and the Heat have both been playing better basketball than I think I expected.
Yep.
But in terms of controlling what you can control, they've got 4 more games left of this stretch. I think they will have pretty much done what I expected. I expect this stretch to be very, very tough. And that's even not including the fact that I didn't expect Tyrese Maxey to miss 4 games, and quite frankly, 4 of the more winnable games because of a concussion. So they could have been sitting here at maybe 12 wins if they had better luck in that regard. And I didn't necessarily expect D'Anthony Melton to miss the entire time as well. They have had some really tough injury luck here of late. Does that mean that Nick Nurse has made all the right decisions? No, of course not. But I do think he was in a really tough spot.
Yep. All right, final one, stock up, stock down here on the Sixers stock report this week. We talked about him before the Clippers game. Don't think he got any time, or he got a little bit of time and really didn't mean anything because the game was out of hand. But he had a good performance against the Kings in the loss on Monday night. It was not just cleanup duty because Nick Nurse brought him in a little bit sooner than we expected. He's on a 10-day contract. So for him, stock up for getting back into the league after being out for a while.
Oh, look, he drained 2 big threes. Not too big. The game was out of hand.
DJ Wilson,
you hit 2 threes and you're not Mo Bamba. You're getting a stock up from me, buddy.
Does that give him a little bit more? He may not get the minutes, but should things go in the wrong direction against the Clippers and then later on in the week as they take on the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Toronto Raptors, do you see a situation, Derek, where Nick Nurse might be like, I saw some decent things against the Kings. Maybe I'll call his number.
Maybe, but Nick Nurse has seemed to really have, I don't want to say faith.
This is not a Darius Bazley situation because Bazley just didn't play.
Yeah.
DJ Wilson got in there a little early last night. The game was a little bit out of hand, but the starters were still on the floor with him.
Yeah, but he seems to have some level of trust in Mo Bamba I don't 100% understand.
I know.
It's part of maybe why I gave Nick Nurse a stock down right before.
Come on, Nick.
Yeah, he might. I'm just not 100% confident.
Same way when we see Ricky might get in. All right, we talk about this. 5 minutes. You got a 5-minute run. What are you going to do in that 5 minutes? DJ Wilson might get a 5-minute run.
And there were a couple times with Ricky where he got 5 minutes, didn't show anything, and he didn't play the rest of the game.
He didn't play? Yeah. So I'm stock up on DJ Wilson just because.
Again, made 2 threes, not Mo Bamba. Stock up. Easiest question you have asked me.
And then it's the other part of just, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
When we've had these situations with this team all year and we know who everybody is, sometimes it's that infusion of something different so that you get a little intrigued about what that different might be and how it looks, especially when we know that he can tinker and experiment with the lineups a little bit.
You like a little something different. That's why you go and maybe try an Oreo bagel.
You might.
Yeah.
I'll be like, let me know how it tastes before I jump in there, but I'll get the sandwich. Thank you, Bagels & Co. But I'm just intrigued
Oreo
to
bagel
find
is great,
out.
by the way. I'm gonna bring you in one. You can
I would try it. I would try it because I like Oreos. Yeah. I would absolutely try it.
It's a weird concept, but it's a good execution.
Yes, I would try it. So I'm stock up on DJ Wilson just because I'm curious. And that's where my stock up goes because of the curiosity. And then he came out there on the floor and he wasn't like Kenny Lofton where he just didn't pass the basketball, even though Kenny Lofton had like 54 points in one of those games recently for the Jazz G League team. I'm just intrigued. So I would say more stock up for DJ Wilson just because of the intriguing nature of it all.
Yeah. And look, he shot, I think he's shooting in the low 30% for his career from 3-point line on a decent enough volume where it seems like that has some meaning. So I don't necessarily expect him to go out and make 2 out of 2 3-pointers all that often, but I did like what I saw.
I need you to be a competent player on the floor for the minutes that you are out there.
Yeah. Maybe take a 3 when it's there. Have a little physicality and athleticism inside, and don't be a dumbass. That's really all you're asking for.
I thought he was fine in all those categories.
And
with that, you know what, DJ Wilson? You get one bagel just like Campaign did. You get a bagel, DJ Wilson, because our Stock Up, Stock Down Sixers Stock Report of the Week was brought to you by our good friends from Bagels & Co. Brooklyn-style bagels made right here in Philadelphia. Go and find the closest one nearest you at www.thebagelsandco.com/store locator to find that closest and nearest Bagels & Co. near you. Derek, it's been fun, man. We'll get Kyle back for the next week. Brianna, as always, thank you for producing, and we appreciate you always checking us out right here on this week's version.
Stock up on the PHLY show when Kyle comes back.
Yep. Stock down.
We all silly like the mayor.